Hello and welcome to Quays News. I'm George Ike.
And I'm Harry Cohen. Here's what's coming up on the programme today.
With 2,300 people expected to be homeless this Christmas, we found out how Mancunians are fighting to keep people off the streets.
I wanted to get clean and off the streets. It was more than just a bed to me. It was rehabilitation and a fresh start.
More train strikes have been announced to coincide with the festive period.
Find out how the University of Salford is keeping women safe after becoming White Ribbon accredited.
One thing that White Ribbon focuses on is not just addressing domestic abuse and you know, kind of putting services in place for women who've experienced it, but also kind of addressing the sexism and misogyny that kind of underpins it. So it's kind of like trying to prevent it as well as address it.
And believe it or not, Manchester has been named on the top travel destinations of 2023. Ellie Johnstone finds out how people of our city think.
Good evening. If you saw hundreds of people running laps in the streets of Manchester this week, they were actually doing a 24-hour run raising money for the Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham's charity for the homeless. Our reporter Ellie investigates.
I didn't have a secure home for several years. My niece is everything, and I hated how my life made me look to her.
Close to 7,000 adults and children are homeless in Manchester, but this group of volunteers are determined to make a change, with almost 1,000 people taking part.
24-hour relay. So basically we set off 5k laps roughly every half an hour. People can run it, they can walk it, whatever. And yeah, it's just raising money for the Greater Manchester Mayor's charity to help fight homelessness in the city.
So the scheme funds emergency accommodation all across Manchester, but more than just providing a bed, it also provides support to the individuals to try and keep them off the streets.
There are around 600 people in emergency accommodation right now. As we race into winter, this only stands to increase, making fundraising events like this 24-hour run vital to continue supporting those in need.
I was suffering from substance abuse. I wasn't able to work due to my mental health. Eventually that turned into me being completely homeless. I wanted to get clean and off the streets. It was more than just a bed to me. It was rehabilitation and a fresh start.
As the fight against homelessness continues, events like these will continue to run. Eleanor Haynes, Quays News, Salford.
As rail workers up and down the country are striking, Holly Roberts finds out more.
As the Christmas period approaches, many are travelling home or to gigs or the Christmas markets here in Manchester. But the RMT Union, otherwise known as the National Union of Rail, Maritime and Transport Workers, have announced more strikes happening from the 13th to the 14th of December, 16th to 17th, and more in the new year from the 3rd of January to the 4th and the 6th and the 7th. Services have already been severely disrupted in the past few months as the workers argue over pay, working conditions and the security of their jobs. Network Rail and 14 other companies have also voted in the favour of strikes and further walkouts. The disruptions have made it so that many travelling to gigs and events, such as the performance made by Peter Kay, the stand-up comedian in London, have become difficult to get to. Also, students have been mainly affected as they travel home from Christmas break from uni and want just to see their families. A statement from the RMT General Secretary, Mick Lynch. Our message to the public is, we are very sorry to inconvenience you, but we urge you to direct your anger at the government and railway employers.
Well, it certainly looks like there will be a lot of disruption over the Christmas period.
We asked you if you support the strikes or if you think they're an inconvenience.
While 25% of you are in support of the strikes, a whopping 75% of you have said that it is an inconvenience.
Well, it's not just trains that are being disrupted. One of the Metrolink trams has derailed this afternoon.
Yes, the tram derailed near St Peter's Square. However, a replacement bus service is operating between Deansgate to Piccadilly and Victoria to Piccadilly.
To find out more about the disruption, head to tfgm.com. The 25th of November marks National White Ribbon Day with its pledge to end violence against women.
Maisie's here in the studio to tell us what the university is doing after they achieve White Ribbon accreditation.
Thank you, Harry. So domestic abuse is obviously a very serious and sensitive topic that many people struggle to talk about, and there are several outlets out there for people who need support. So earlier today I found more about the Domestic Abuse Champions group, which is run by two ladies at the university. Now this was founded during the COVID pandemic when rates of domestic abuse were shockingly high due to being in a closer environment, being home more often. So incident levels were up 4% at 18th of May 2020 and 7% from the June 2020. So the group has been successful in achieving the White Ribbon accreditation, which ultimately pledges to end violence against women. So it encourages institutions to ensure they're doing everything they can to end this violence against women.
It's about eliminating violence against women, not just domestic abuse, but also sexual harassment, verbal abuse, online abuse, abuse in public, abuse on campus. Yeah. So we kind of wanted to take a really kind of firm line approach to doing that. Because one thing that White Ribbon focuses on is not just addressing domestic abuse and you know, kind of putting services in place for women who've experienced it, but also kind of addressing the sexism and misogyny that kind of underpins it. So it's kind of like trying to prevent it as well as address it. We had to organise a steering group across the university, which consists of White Ribbon ambassadors who are men, and they can be students or staff, and also White Ribbon champions who are women, again students or staff, who kind of take a lead role in addressing issues of violence against women.
So the accreditation is about finding the root of the problem rather than kind of dealing with it as it happens. So encouraging men to challenge their behaviours and things like that, challenging misogynistic standards, even if it's just things like catcalling, things like that. It's important. Particularly with the World Cup coming up, rates are expected to increase. Abuse incidents usually increase by about 38% when England loses football matches, but even still there's 26% higher when the team wins or draws, and this is obviously due to things such as drunk incidents, like obviously they're consuming a lot more alcohol, but yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed just to deal with it before it happens.
As an institution, we had to put together an action plan to be part of the White Ribbon, and what that was us identifying things within our organisation that we know we need to change or we want to work on to improve on. So there's a range of actions in there. Some of them are around things like policies and procedures. Some of them are around increasing information or access to information for both staff and students, because the White Ribbon, the way we are looking at this at the university is it's not just for students, it's for colleagues as well. So it's for everybody in the university community.
Well, thank you, Maisie. It definitely is a serious topic that needs discussing.
Well, Harry, as we get closer to Christmas, we're seeing more and more of the festivities across Salford and Manchester.
Yes, these include Manchester's famous Christmas markets. Isabella Norrison reports from Albert Square.
We all love Manchester's Christmas markets, from the amazing selection of food and drink to the unique range of gifts. However, this year we've seen prices dramatically increase.
I'm here today to find out exactly what these markets mean for small businesses and how the cost of living has impacted them this year regarding their pricing.
I think it's just because, well, all the other stores are doing it and the boss has decided that, you know, like the cost of everything that they buy is going up as well, so in order to make money they need to put the prices up as well. Yeah, definitely. I think the prices have gone up overall, I think everywhere, and there's a lot fewer people here. The bosses have definitely told me that it's been like they've taken less money this year overall as well. So yeah, might have something to do with it.
We try to manage the costs, you know, as the same. So our prices was the same as last year. I know that everybody has the hard situation of hikings and you know, all the issues more important like electricity and fat. So we try to make sure that we have offer some comfort with our products, you know, without having to push any customers away. The sales are being up and down. It's as well affecting the weather if we are in the outside market. But we have noticed a difference in one. Even if we kept the same prices, we noticed a just a tiny bit decline.
Well, we had to increase little, tiny little the price, but not much. Well, everything is getting higher, so it's. But we have to keep the prices because we want to. We cannot just move them up for 30%.
Oh, it's really overpriced.
Yeah.
Even for what it used to be last year.
Honestly, like, what did we get? We got these like wraps, and they're like £8, and they were so overrated. I was depressed. I was so depressed.
Worth it. But like last year, you would pay around £5-6 for it, but now it's like £8.59.
It's clear to see how the cost of living has impacted the market this year in comparison to last, with an average increase of £1.50 on food and between 50p to £1 increase on drinks.
Everything seems to be creeping up more and more, so the gas and electric bills just like jumped massively, so it's getting harder and harder to afford. Yeah. And the market, Christmas markets, they've gone up more than last year. Well, the last time we came anyway. We last came before the pandemic. So, like, we've noticed, like, we just had some food, like, one thing each and, like, one drink between us, and that was £23, which is a lot of money.
Pricing has definitely increased due to inflation now hitting a staggering 11.1%. But this hasn't really affected the high volume of customers they see daily. Will you be attending this year? Isabella Norrison, Quays News.
Well, Harry, I can't wait to head down to the Christmas markets.
I'm really looking forward to them. I've not been because of COVID, but I'm really excited to come this year.
I'm off tomorrow night, getting my ice skates on.
See, I've never been ice skating. That's something I've never done.
Well, you might have to try it.
I think
it's
so.
not as difficult as it looks, and you can get one of those penguins if you need a bit of a hand.
I don't think I can get about with a penguin. I don't think it's something
you can't be seen doing.
Can't be seen doing that.
What about the food, though?
The food at the
Christmas
best
market.
bit, it has to be a Yorkshire pudding wrap.
Well, on one of our other programmes on Quays TV, Blow the Whistle, who focus on sport, I saw that Max from that programme had a Yorkshire pudding wrap there the other day, and I just thought that looked amazing.
Oh, they are delicious, but they are really expensive. I think specifically, as Izzy was saying, with the cost of living crisis, it really, really is, at the minute, something that's going to be quite difficult for
Be an
people.
expensive one, won't it?
So with the markets, it comes as no surprise to Mancunians as Manchester is rated a top destination to visit in 2023.
Ellie finds out more about why people love living in the city.
Out of a pick of across the world, Manchester has been rated the top travel destination of 2023 by Lonely Planet, who released an article stating that Manchester is the place to be, which comes as no surprise to Mancunians.
I like Manchester because there's lots of opportunities to meet people because there's always something going on. One of those places that I like going to is 20 Stories because you get to a great view.
I like the Northern Quarter and all the vintage shops and Afflecks.
Because I like the places that are here to go to, like Salford Quays, Heaton Park, Clifton Country Park, lots of nice places to go for walks.
I like living in Manchester just because I like the area, the people, and it's a lot better from the area than I come from. So
I like living in Manchester because it's got loads of good places around it. It's got the Peak District, and they've done a nice job. Look at Salford Quays, they've done a nice job, haven't they? Nice place to work.
They released a following article stating what a day in the life visiting Manchester would be like, including the many different places to go. They mentioned the museums, Deansgate, the Northern Quarter, the array of different shops and restaurants. They also stated that in their opinion the best time to go is September through to December because of the enticing football season as well as the festive Christmas markets. Ellie Johnstone, Quays News, Manchester.
Thank you for watching Quays News live at 5.
That's all from us. We're back at the same time next week. Good night.